Hi there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining from in the world today. Welcome to Live with Leila. My name is Leila Singh, and I'm a leadership, career, and personal brand coach. My mission is to impact 100,000 people's career trajectory beyond what they thought possible. Why? Because I am passionate about helping you to realize what is truly possible for you when it comes to not only your career but also your life. How do I do this? Through harnessing your leadership potential. I coach high achieving, ambitious, and driven mid to senior level professionals working typically in the technology industry for promotion, for peak performance, and for positioning. In other words, a standout personal brand, all while showing up as the best version of yourself, what I call life leadership. And I'd like to welcome each and every one of you who is joining me live today or watching on replay. If you are watching live, then do please say hello in the comments. Let me know where you are joining from. And if you are watching on replay, then please hashtag replay in the comments. And again, let me know where you are joining to watch on replay from. Where in the world? Which city are you in? Shah, hello. Great to have you here today. I hope you can hear me and see me okay. And again, any questions you have on today's topic, please pop them in the comments. And if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay, pop your questions in, tag me in. I will come back and answer them for you. As always, a lot to cover today. Apologies for starting a few minutes late. I had a few technical hitches and there's a lot to cover. It's great information that's really going to help you to move your career forward. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, but of course, the recording is here available for you to go back and watch again. Maybe grab a pen and paper, take some notes as we go through this. So the title, the topic of today, what is it? Managing your reputation so that you can advance your career. What I'm talking about here is perception, how others perceive you. In other words, your reputation amongst others, your in-person personal brand, because this plays a crucial role when it comes to your professional success. Perception is a really powerful tool that can significantly impact your career trajectory. This is why today's topic, as always, is so important if you're somebody who's looking to advance your career or to step into leadership. Today, we're going to explore the importance of managing your reputation. We'll look at the risks of neglecting it and the practical strategies that you can use to cultivate a powerful personal brand that stands out at all career stages. So first of all, I just want to distinguish your reputation, in other words, the perception people have of you alongside personal branding. So when we talk about perception, what do I mean? This refers to how other people see you. In other words, your reputation among your peers and also within your industry. And it encompasses how people maybe would describe you in terms of what you stand for, what you're known for, what makes you distinctive. So what is that for you? What would you like people to be saying about you? Personal branding, on the other hand, is a more deliberate process of actually shaping this perception, being able to influence so that it reflects your values, your beliefs, your goals, and your purpose as accurately as possible. Because at the end of the day, people will see what they see. They will interpret things in their own way. You can only strive towards influencing that in the best possible way. And when we talk about personal branding, for me, it's not your personal brand in the context of what I'm sharing here and what I talk about throughout my podcast and my newsletters and my lives. It's for me, I'm defining personal brand as how you show up. In other words, your in-person personal brand. Most people, when they talk about personal branding, it's about your online presence or it's about your branding, your logo, for example. If you've got your own business or you've created your own personal logo, that's what most people lean towards when we hear personal brand. Whereas for me, I'm talking about your brand of how you show up in person, how you come across to people and people's perception of you. In other words, it's what people say about you when you're not in the room. And it's that feeling that you leave people with when they hear your name mentioned, when they encounter you in a meeting or in a conversation. It's what people hear about you and when the experience they have when they work with you. So all of these things come together to create your personal brand. And this is why it's so important to focus some time and energy to really hone your personal brand so that you can positively influence the people around you and advance your career. As I said, any questions you have on this or comments, please do pop them below. Now, why does perception matter? Because your reputation is paramount when it comes to your career, or even if you are in business. In other words, it influences the opportunities that comes your way, influences your relationships with the people around you, and as well, it influences and impacts your overall professional journey, your career trajectory. So what can it do to help you? It can help you to stand out to employers. In other words, differentiating yourself from the competition can help to make you more appealing towards those potential employers. So what is it you can do to stand out? What's your unique value proposition? Next, it can help to establish your talents and your expertise. In other words, a well-crafted personal brand can highlight effectively your skills, your expertise, and make you the go-to person in your field. In other words, the thought leader, the trusted partner, the trusted advisor, all of those good things. Those are the kind of words you want to be hearing people have as a perception of you, particularly if you're striving towards leadership and management. Making you memorable is the third reason, so why this matters. In other words, that constant, or sorry, not constant, consistent rather, um, uh, perception, the consistent perception of how people experience you, of how you come across, as well as a positive perception that they hold of you, that will ensure that people will remember you for the right reasons. So slow down and think about, how do I want people to remember me? How do I want them to experience me and to talk about me? Make yourself memorable in a positive way. Number 4 is open up professional opportunities. So this is why perception matters. In other words, a strong reputation can lead to job offers. It can open up new partnerships, collaborations, as well as other career advancements that maybe you hadn't even considered before. New opportunities could open up simply because of your reputation preceding you. Because here's the thing, when you've got a strong reputation, a strong, credible brand, people will have you top of mind. They will talk about you, they'll recommend you, they'll refer you, and that's where opportunities will arise. And number 5 is generating more sales and winning more business. So for those of you in client facing roles, a positive, powerful personal brand can really truly translate into increased business Apologies, I think we just had a bit of a technical hitch there. So I do hope you can still hear me and see me. Do let me know if you can. Pop just in the comments to say, yes, you can hear me and you can see me. We do seem to be having some internet issues in this area at the moment. So I do apologize for the technical hitch. I think the Wi-Fi just dropped, but it looks like it's back up now. So if you're there, you can hear me, you can see me, please just message below in the comments to say yes, so I know that you can hear me. I will just go back and pick up on where I left off to continue. Shah, yes, I can hear and see you. Thank you very, very much. And apologies again, we do have some internet issues here at the moment. I think it's the roadworks just outside. Okay, so what are the risks of neglecting your reputation? Number one is failing to manage your brand can have so many detrimental effects on your career. In other words, number one is misalignment between how you want to be perceived and how others see you, because this can lead to missed opportunities. It can result in stagnant career growth, and it can result in a lack of trust as well amongst your colleagues and your industry peers. So it's really important to not neglect your reputation, to really spend time working on it and building up that credible brand. Also, negative perceptions can be particularly damaging, and they actually run the risk of potentially overshadowing your actual skills, your accomplishments, and the value that you do bring to the table. So, and I say this to so many people when we have these conversations about how I can support you with your career advancement, is that it's not about just getting another qualification, another certification, developing another skill. Yes, that is important, but it's also about how you show up in person, how people perceive you and your reputation. And this embraces a number, or encompasses rather, a number of things, including effective communication. How do you communicate? How well do you come across? What about your gravitas, your presence? Do you show up as being confident and having certainty in yourself and your abilities? How do you engage with other people? How do you nurture and develop relationships with the people around you that you have to work with? All of these things, as well as your inner confidence and having that winning mindset, these are all things that are crucial when it comes to building your reputation and your personal brand. So what are the advantages of managing your reputation in a powerful way? Well, on the other side of what I've just shared there in terms of neglecting, there are a number of benefits to actually managing it and cultivating your reputation and your brand. So number one is career advancement. Of course, a strong brand, a strong reputation will position you well when it comes to promotions, when it comes to leadership roles, when it comes to succession planning, for example. All of these things will come from a place of being top of mind for those decision makers, those hiring managers, those people that have you top of mind. Secondly is enhanced visibility, which plays into that as well, having you top of mind, just being recognized for your expertise, for your knowledge, for the value that you bring to the table. All of this can lead to, for example, speaking engagements, asking to present at a conference, at an event, representing your team or representing your organization. So again, positioning you through that enhanced visibility. Also, media features, potentially maybe appearing on podcasts, sharing your knowledge, sharing your expertise, as well as industry awards. So enhanced visibility comes with your building a strong reputation. Effective leadership is the next one. Effective leadership, of course, leaders with strong brands, strong reputations will inspire trust and loyalty amongst their teams, and in addition, will help you to propel your career forward. And finally, industry influence. Now, there are many more, of course. I'm only giving you a handful of examples here of the advantages of managing your reputation. Industry influence, which means establishing you as an authority in your field. So understanding the trends, being able to influence trends and sharing best practices. Also as well, understanding what's happening in your industry, what's happening in the marketplace, so you can have meaningful conversations with others. So you might be thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but what do I need to do? Well, there are 3 strategies I want to share with you today to both build and manage your personal brand, in other words, your professional reputation. So number one is self-assessment and feedback. And here's where you may want to take some notes. Is first of all, when we talk about self-assessment and feedback, you want to be open to feedback. So with this, I'd like to invite you to begin by understanding how you are currently perceived. How do you do that? I invite you to reach out to at least 3 to 5 trusted individuals in your professional network. So people that you trust, people who've got your back, maybe people who've mentored you, managed you, or even people who are your peers that you've worked alongside, but people that you know have your interests at heart and you can trust their points of view. And invite them to share with you in 3 or 4 words or phrases how they perceive you. So what comes to mind? Well, the first things that come to mind when they hear your name mentioned. Then what you want to do is compare this feedback with how you want to be perceived. Now, it might be it's all great because typically those people that you reach out to will give you positive feedback. However, are there aspects of what is important to you in your brand, your reputation, and how you show up that have not even been mentioned? And if that's the case, you've got a perceived gap. So identify any gaps of where you would like people to have mentioned X, Y, and Z about you, and actually what's missing. Now, it might be that they've shared with you something you hadn't even realized people saw in you or recognized in you before. And that's even better. And it's okay. However, there might be something that's really like a strong value or of importance to you that nobody's talked about. So what you want to do now is identify those gaps and consider what changes you can make in the way that you show up, in the way that you cultivate and nurture your brand, your reputation, such that it aligns with the personal brand that you want to convey to others and your desired reputation. So that's number one, self-assessment and feedback. Number two is consistent communication. In other words, ensure that your communication, both online and offline, reflects your personal brand. Here's the thing. This does include your LinkedIn profile, your professional interactions, and public speaking engagements. This is not only about paying somebody to create a beautiful persona on your LinkedIn profile, and actually when you show up in person, the reality of who you are and how you show up does not correlate with the person that's written all about on LinkedIn, right? So you want to do this yourself to a large degree, or at least influence it. And it starts by understanding how you want to show up in person, how you want people to perceive you, and then take that and, create that in your, or reflect that, should I say, within your LinkedIn profile. So again, consistent communication in the way that you show up in person and the way that you show up online, the way that you maybe share posts, share opinions, ideas, points of view. And if you deliver speaking engagements, whether it's internally or externally, again, having that consistency of how you come across. Also be consistent in showcasing your values, your expertise, and your achievements. And yes, you do need to shout about them. This isn't about bragging. This is about positioning yourself and making sure that people are aware of the value that you have to bring, of the stuff, those things that are great that you've done, those achievements, those projects, the wins, all of that people need to be aware of, particularly if they are decision makers, if they're hiring managers. Also, regularly share your insights, your successes, and your thought leadership content. All of this will help to reinforce your brand, whether that's online or whether that's in person within the office environment, a water cooler conversation, and so forth. So consistent communication is number two. Number three, in terms of your strategies, is professional development. And I will continuously invest in your professional growth. How do you do this? Look to attend industry conferences, pursue certifications, and engage in lifelong learning. There is so much information, a wealth of information available to us now. So much of it is for free. You've got YouTube, you've got blogs, you've got newsletters, you've got the likes of LinkedIn. There is just so much available to us for us to stay on top of what is happening in our industry or in our particular field. Also, demonstrate a commitment to excellence in terms of staying current with your industry trends. Because why? It helps you to enhance your reputation as someone who is a trusted advisor, who is knowledgeable, and who is dedicated to your profession. So those are your key 3 strategies to building and managing your reputation. And again, just a quick recap is self-assessment and feedback. So reaching out to people to gauge their perceptions of you, what comes to mind for them when they hear your name mentioned. Number 2 is consistent communication across the board. So whether that's online or offline, so in person, on camera, and so forth. And then thirdly is your professional development. As I said, lifelong learning. And finally, what I want to bring to your attention here is how important it is to really slow down and think about, how am I managing my reputation? What does it look like right now? And again, the exercise that I shared with you there to elicit some feedback will help you to understand where you're at and help you to think about, what can I do differently? How can I adjust in the way that I show up? Maybe my presence needs to be more confident. The way that I come across, I speak with more certainty when I communicate with people. Building more relationships so that I have a wider network. All of these things can help you when it comes to cultivating, influencing, and nurturing your reputation. And by actively doing all of this, you will enhance your career prospects. You will establish your experience and you will become a more effective leader. If you are looking to advance your career, if you're ambitious, you want to get up to the next level, you want to step into a leadership role or step into an executive role, you want to work on your brand, your in-person brand, in other words, your professional reputation. So my invitation to you is to start today by assessing your current perception, communicate consistently, and invest in your professional development and growth. All of these strategies I've shared with you today will help you to navigate these complexities that we're all facing when it comes to your personal brand, being able to stand out, to be top of mind, to have that unique value proposition such that opportunities and people come towards you. As always, any questions that you have on today's topic, please do pop them in the comments below. #replay if you're watching on replay, and I will come back and respond to you. And before we wrap up for today, one more thing I want to remind you of, if I haven't already done so in previous episodes and you haven't done this yet, is to grab your copy of the Personal Brand Playbook. Why? Because this goes into much more depth on developing your reputation, your personal brand. There are 6 core pillars that I believe are essential when it comes to building your personal brand. In other words, your professional reputation. And I detail these within the playbook, as well as providing you with best practices, so actionable insights within each of those pillars, are things you can go away and implement immediately, put into practice, and also provides you with a brand audit, so you can go through the complete audit and identify the gaps and the areas of focus and prioritization that you can work on. So it's absolutely available to you with no charge. The link is in the comments below. So please, if you haven't already done so, do grab your copy of the Personal Brand Playbook. And of course, head over to my YouTube channel. The link will be below shortly, and subscribe to my channel. I really invite you to do this and to share with others who can benefit from the content that I share both here and in the podcast on a regular basis. It comprises of the video footage of all of my podcasts to date, in particular over 50 interviews with leaders from the tech space who have generously shared their time, their knowledge, their career journeys, the obstacles, the hurdles that they've overcome, and showing us what is possible when it comes to advancing our careers. So do head over, subscribe to the channel, share it, and check out the wealth of information on the channel. I think there's over 400 videos on there now, including all of my previous lives. There's so many different topics around the areas we've spoken about today. There will be something that can help and benefit you and move you forward. So any questions, I said, do let me know. In the meantime, until next week, remember to harness your potential, to elevate your performance, and strive towards achieving greater personal development and growth by showing up as the best version of you. Take care. Have a great rest of the week. If you're in the UK, enjoy this incredible heat wave and sunshine, and I'll see you next time.